Morning, Connor.
How are we doing?
Very good, thank you. Imagine you're doing fairly well as well. Side still unbeaten after three games at home. How are your thoughts after on the start of the season so far?
I think we've done okay. Obviously, yes, pleased with the results and the points on the board. But the lads know that I still feel like there's a lot we can do to get better at. I think each game has brought up challenges, and we've come through that, which is great. But just got to keep working, got to keep getting better. Really focused now on the next game, which is obviously Peterborough. And what's happened is gone, and we've analysed and focused on each game and worked to get better after each game to fix things, and it's no different after Bolton, and now we're full focus on Peterborough as well.
Do you feel like with the performances that you've seen from different players over the game so far that you're able to maybe rotate a little when you've got 3 game weeks, or is there not quite enough depth around the squad yet?
Um, Probably a little bit of both. I think I'd like to potentially rotate a little bit more, but that depth probably not there at the minute. Very, very pleased with the people that we have in the building. Obviously, we'll have a couple of bits going on for tomorrow to consider, with, a busy last couple of weeks. Obviously, Vimal being out as well. But there's no getting away from the fact that we do need that little bit of depth going into, the busy months ahead.
Are you hopeful that that could come this week, or is it now going to be a case of waiting for your best options nearer the end of the window?
Well, we've only got 2 weeks, so it's going to have to be pretty soon. And there's no getting away from that. So whether it's this week, next week, or whatever day, we're counting down now, and every club's going to be doing the same. So we've only got 2 weeks to go from that point of view.
I want to know about kind of interest in your players. Are you aware of any bids or firm interest that's been lodged at the minute?
No, nothing whatsoever. And that's genuine. No bids, nothing to report, nothing of interest. And hopefully that will be the case over the next couple of weeks. So we want to keep everyone that we have in the building, that's for sure.
Or actually got around Luca this morning, got a cracking assist at the weekend. Do you feel like he's thriving in the situation that you put him in this year with the system and the responsibility, etc.?
Yeah, he's been a big plus, obviously, over the course of pre-season. I was really interested to see how he would come back, how Philo would come back, and people like that, and people who have been at the club, a little bit of time now. And not just to speak about Luca, but Philo as well. I think they've both come back really focused, and I think they're really enjoying the day-to-day work and working with me and me working with them, and pushing them to make the most of the opportunities ahead of them, whether it's in training or whether it's games or whether it's, improving their performance and making the most of the time that they have with their careers. So I know obviously Philo's that little bit older than Luca, but it's so important in my role to push lads all the time to get better. I don't like seeing players just kind of, not giving everything, or not making the most of the opportunities, or not making the most of their ability. It really, really frustrates me. And I'm not saying that was the case with Luca and Philo, but they've just had that laser focus over the summer, maybe time to reflect on where they want to go and what they want to do, and they've come back. And I can't sing enough praises about the two of them since the first day of pre-season till now.
Do you feel like they're getting back to towards their best because they both started their Barnsley careers in such a positive way, didn't they? With the success that they enjoyed in their early year.
Yeah, I think that they're probably showing signs at their best, but we need to see that consistently now over a bit of time. It's all well and good doing it for a month, or pre-season and the first 3 or 4 games. We need to see that for 6 months. We need to see that for 8 months. And it's my job to push them and challenge them to get to that level. They'll know that I won't let them rest or come off their performances that they've put in. And the same with everyone else, by the way. That's not Luke and Philo. That's the same with everyone else. If people come off what I expect of them, they know what will happen in terms of, I'll be considering playing somebody else. So that's what I expect. That's what I demand. But yeah, look, they're showing glimpses, and I'm absolutely, it's a pleasure to work with the pair of them because they're both talented footballers. But we need to see that as a club and me as a manager and as a staff over a long period of time now.
Is that one of the more, I don't know how to put it, fun, challenging aspects of your role, that every player in your squad poses a slightly different challenge about where they are, and it really kind of tests you as a coach as to how to bring the best out of different people?
Yeah, I think so. I think naturally, footballers and people, at this club or other clubs, they get into football to have a career, and naturally they're really competitive people because if they haven't come through, to become a professional footballer at a good level, like the level that we're at, they wouldn't be very, very competitive. They've got that hunger to improve, to get better, and it's my job to drive that every single day. So, we're competitive people. Some have got more kind of competitiveness in them more than others potentially, but we're all in it to win and to get better and to strive to improve, and that's my job to get it out of all the players.
And kind of just moving on from that with Vimal in mind, yeah, is handling setbacks and criticism and failure just a key part of all of that and helping people do that?
Yeah, I think setbacks, challenges are the real kind of let's see what you're about character test, and me, I love it. It's something that I always, fortunately enough, have been able to come through with the character, or with the kind of foundations of what I expect for myself, and that's that inner drive, whatever people think or whatever challenges come my way. Coming through that is fantastic, and it gives me a real kind of satisfaction. And Vimal will be no different, no doubt. We had a little conversation yesterday. Come and see me, and can't wait to see him. On the grass now this week, and thriving for Wimbledon game. Obviously, we know he's out for Peterborough, but no doubt he'll have the bit between his teeth and ready to go for Wimbledon as well.
Was that a real plus for you that he came and sought you out for that conversation? Because undoubtedly they've been disappointed after Saturday.
Yeah, I think it kind of speaks volume of the player. There was a couple of occasions last year, without going into individuals, where someone might turn up late or something might happen, and they wouldn't even apologize. They just kind of go, "Oh, just get on with the day," like it's something new. But it speaks volumes of the person that's in Vimal, that he comes and he approaches it and he fronts up to it, and it speaks volumes about the player. So that goes a long way with me.
How did you deal with setbacks early on in your career? You mentioned then is that you've always had it. What was it there when you were a teenager, maybe in your early 20s, that you had this, or were the people around there that kind of help you deal with stuff?
No, I think it's something that you probably you grow, or you kind of lean on that little bit more, or maybe some certain experiences make that fire grow that little bit more, or it can set you off the other way as well. You don't come through the challenges, you know what I mean? So I was young at Plymouth, and I got sent off at Crewe away. I remember it, 2 yellow cards. So that was a learning curve for me. So yeah, look, it's just one of them things that now it will make you stronger if you go about it in the right way. And I'm sure I value Vimal highly, and I'm sure, no doubt, he will come through this and learn from it, and build that foundation, and build that learning curve that he will go through now to make him more robust and thick-skinned moving forward.
Couple of thoughts on Peterborough. There's been some great ding-dong battles with them over the years. Have you been surprised a little bit how they've started the season, obviously with 4 straight defeats?
Yeah, look, obviously they're a really good side that gives you challenges. We respect them. Obviously, look, Darren obviously will be a little bit disappointed with the start of the season, but look, that can quickly change. We all know that, and how football changes so much. That's why I'm saying to our lads that we're not coming off our work. We're keeping it high. We're keeping the standards high, because it can quickly change if you come off it. So that's my big message to the players. Going into these next couple of games. But yeah, look, Peterborough will have done their homework on us, and they'll be looking for their first results. So it's something that we have to go about in the right way, and hopefully we'll get the result that we want as well.
and they've not been blown away in any of the games, which shows that they've been competitive.
Yeah, no, look, they're a good side. They've got challenges that we need to look after for sure. And they got some good players. So it's going to be another test and one that we're really looking forward to.
And just find a little bit like Barnsley over the years. They've done really well at nurturing talent and bringing players from other clubs and then selling them on for a markup. It's tough as a club though, isn't it, when you lose a lot of talent in that way, and that'll obviously be a challenge that they've had to face, a little bit like Barnsley have had to face over the years.
Yeah, it comes with the nature of how you want to approach, the business side of your club. They obviously got to have a go about it in terms of sign young or sign non-league or look lower down the pyramids, and they've had huge success from that and sold players on for a huge amount of money. So credit to them. The way they go about their business is really shrewd, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant for them that a lot of their signings work out and become assets and sell on, and that's how they make their money. So it's brilliant. It's great to see. So yeah, look, they'll have lost a couple in the summer, but they've replaced them, and they're probably just going through a little period of gelling and coming together. So it's one that we have to go about in the right mind frame and turn up with the way we want to play and hopefully get the right result.
Brilliant. Good luck, Conor.
Cheers.
Just an update on Mile. Is there anything? Is he still sort of touch and go for the game, or is there any clarity yet?
Yeah, he'd be 50-50. He's kind of got like a bit of a fitness test today type of thing. Making big improvement and big strides in terms of getting to him to where we want to go. So we'll see if he comes through that this morning.
Anyone else who's a bit of a doubt, or everyone fit and firing?
No,
yeah.
all good.
Oh, okay, great. And Peterborough, we mentioned they obviously had a disappointing start. Does that almost make them more sort of dangerous in terms of obviously they've got talent, haven't they? And they'll be really, really up for getting the first win, especially in front of the fans.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a test. Whether you've kind of had some good results or not so good results at the start of the season, people will be looking to kind of turn their fortunes around or else, continue the form that they're on. So, it's a really important game for us. We got, a couple of big games this week now away from Oakwell. So yeah, it's one that we've got, a bright test in front of us that we're looking to kind of hit head on.
There's a stat going around yesterday that Barnsley have scored in all of their games under you for 14, and that's the most at the start of any managers start to score in each game. I mean, obviously must be happy with that, and sort of always a threat. I guess that's what you want to be as a team.
Yeah, we want, like you said, when I first got interim or whether it's when I became permanent, I wanted to play an attacking style of football that scores goals. With wingers and some good forward players and. The way we play, I always feel like we'll be a threat around the box. Look, hopefully that will be the case moving forward. It's a pleasing one to know.
And about the transfers, obviously, it's just a little bit of depth now. Do you feel like it's sort of been a window of different stages? Obviously, there were a few positions that you desperately wanted to plug, and you have done that. And now it's a case of sort of making those little tweaks that could really make the difference further down the line. Yeah,
I'm hoping so. Yeah, that's probably right. I've been very fortunate with the ones we've brought in the building, and made sure that we've brought in the right ones, position and character wise. They've all added to the performances and to the start of the season and to the culture we're trying to build. Credit to all of them. They've been fantastic. But it's about getting maybe a couple over the line now that gives us that more depth or a little bit more quality to, really give us a good squad come the end of the transfer window.
Is it a sort of short-term, long-term thing? Because this is a really busy month, isn't it? I think 8 games in August. So you want a deep squad now, but you also want to sort of make sure you get the right person for the whole season, I guess.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, look, it is a busy month, August. There's no getting away from that. Even busier now again after the Fleetwood result because that adds another game into the schedule. So, look, it's a busy month. Hopefully we'll come through the games okay in terms of injury-wise over the next, couple of games in terms of league games. And then obviously there's a couple of weeks to go in the window and let's see where it takes us.
Just lastly from me, you've obviously loaned a few players out. Jackson Smith, I think, had a trial away last week. What's his situation? Are you looking to get him loaned out for experience, basically?
Yeah, I think getting Jackson some experience and some game time is probably the most important thing for him right now. Having him sitting around the building is is no good for him, no good for anyone really. He needs to get to that stage where he can play some games and improve and gain that valuable experience. So that's something that we're probably looking to do, yeah.
And Kelechi as well, we're looking to move him on if you can.
Yeah, that would be the plan, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Morning, Conor. We talked there about Vimmel's reaction to the red card. Last week, Jack Shepherd came in here and talked about how he saw his red card. I've got a week now to become a better player. That's obviously the attitude every coach wants to see in players. But is that something as a first-team coach you can create, or do you have to get players in from the start who have that right mindset and then try and develop that?
Yeah, I think you can probably create it, but obviously ultimately, with the environment you want to create and the squad that you have and the individuals that you have in the squad, that will hopefully, rub off then, and that will be kind of the way they go about their business, rather than me telling them. So, Shep was the same, went about his business really, really well after the Plymouth sending off. Put in a couple of good performances since then, which has been pleasing against Fleetwood and obviously the other day, which has been great for him. And Vimal, no doubt, will be the exact same. Vimal's very hard working. He was in early yesterday to have the conversation with myself when was in the gym, did extra work out in the grass. So look, I've no worries about Vimal. He will come through this little challenge. I would even call it a big challenge. It's only something very, very small. Really looking forward to see him hit the ground running, on the grass this week, and he'll be chomping at the bit come the weekend as well.
I mean, not just with regards to challenges like that, but all the things that football throws at you. Are you pleased now with the character that you've got within the group, and that it will they will spur each other on to greater heights in that respect?
Yeah, I'm really pleased with the squad. I really am. I think we've got some really, really good people in there over anything else. That's so important to me. I pride myself on having a really good group and really good people, and no person in the squad will interrupt what we're trying to do. And I think we have that. I think me coming in every day and just trying to be a good person over anything else rubs off in the squad as well. Same with the staff, same with the outer staff. And that's a big, big thing to create what we want to go about our business. So, really pleased with what we have. But the most important thing is that we have really good people in the building first and foremost.
And just on Luca, we know obviously there was a lot of interest in him in the summer. I imagine you've probably been in that position in your playing career. We on the outside can sort of say, oh, well, they're under contract. Of course, they've got to knuckle down. But how difficult is that when you're not quite sure over summer where your future is going to lie to just be laser focused on the club you're at that time?
Yeah, I think you've just got to be professional. And I think, look, there was a bit of interest in earlier in the summer for Luca, but he's captain of the football club. I expect him to conduct himself in the right way and go about his business in the right way. I think the way he saw our work and our group coming together and the signings that brought in the building, I think that may have given him an edge as well. I think, like I said, the way he's gone about his business this summer and this pre-season since the start of the season, and his performances has been second to none, really. I've been so pleased with how he's conducted himself as captain on and off the grass, and long that may that relationship continue.
And just finally for me, do you think giving him the armband has just focused him that little bit more, made him feel a little bit more responsibility?
I think it was maybe a little bit of a learning thing from last year. Got given it last year, and I know what it's like when you get a captaincy early on in your career. I was 20 at Plymouth when I got it, and then I was young at Barnsley when I got it, at maybe 23 or 4. So I get it that it's not easy at times. You think you have to conduct yourself in a certain scenario, but ultimately then you learn how to be your own captain and your own person, and that comes with experience, and that comes with a little bit of age. And I think last year was a little bit of a learning curve on how he wanted to go about his business, and I think this year now he's just a little bit more settled in his role, and he's understood the captain that he is, and that just comes with a little bit of experience of having the armband, and it's a pleasure to see him grow into that role, really.